Okay, have a good one. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay.
What is empowerment? What impact does it have on our community? Seeking to understand the mind of an entrepreneur? Let's find out.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to another segment of the 21st Century Entrepreneur. I'm your man, your host, Ronald Smith. I want to thank y'all so much. Hey, it's been a while since we have been on, but hey, great things are happening, and look forward to some more great and unique shows as we interview some great, wonderful people that's doing some marvelous things out there. And yes, you see it, the music industry makeover. We'll be changing that name as well to Smith Media Incorporated, and just some other things that are happening. So you all just stay tuned, okay? But look, you want to definitely spread the word tonight, today, or whenever that you are watching this show, because hey, we're going to be talking about something that's very much needed, and especially a lot of us are afraid to talk about. Okay, and so yes, dealing with the insurance. Okay, and I have an awesome guest that's about to come on. Her name is Miss Lenette Hillian, and she is with Transamerica Agency Network. How you doing, Miss Lenette?
I am great. How are you?
I am doing great, wonderful. Oh man, so good, so good to see you, and thank you so much for coming on the show. All right, and yes, hey, we have a viewer there. How you doing? Hey, Consuela, God bless you. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in, and hey, we want to get right into it. As I said, we're going to talk about a subject that most folks are afraid to talk about, even in families, and it's dealing with insurance. But first of all, let's talk about you. Where you're from, and what made you get into the insurance industry.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, my name is Lenette
Mhm.
Hillian, and I am an affiliated associate with Transamerica Agency Network.
Mhm.
And I am originally from Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton Roads
Okay.
area. That's where I'm
Yes.
from.
All right.
And so the reason that I became an insurance advisor is because of I've been in education for about 15 plus years.
Okay.
And
Educator.
so naturally, I am an educator at heart, and I like to teach others information so that they're better informed. So that's why I ended up in as an agent. And
Mhm.
I think it's vital and important that we have these conversations. So,
Awesome, definitely. Wow. Well, you actually seem like you have a passion for it. Um,
I do.
Man, it's just really, yes, and it's definitely flowing through you, because I could tell that that's something I think you mentioned, that a lot of us are pretty much afraid to talk about this or so. And
Yes.
when it comes to insurance, especially life insurance, we always automatically think death, and so which
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
why some of us have been taught that's what it's for.
Right.
What would you say to that? Is life insurance just solely about death, or can we even use it even while we're living, or so
Yes, you can. We do have particular options
on?
that that people can use while they're living. It just depends on, once we gather information from them, and then we see what options are available. But before I even
Hmm.
go further, I know there's certain we talked about a few elephants that are in the room. We
That's
talked
yes. We're gonna
about
address those.
people don't want to talk about death as one of them. They don't want to
Hmm.
talk about it at all. Two,
Hmm.
as you said, that was my second elephant that you kind of moved out of the room, and that it's only for death, because that people, when they hear insurance, that's all they think about. Is that
Right.
the third elephant that we really haven't talked about is people often, when they see an insurance advisor, such as myself, they think
Hmm.
that it's only that our whole goal is to sell insurance.
Oh, so
And
yeah.
what are you going to say? Go
Hmm.
ahead.
I say no. I'm gonna say so. Yeah, you just basically you just pretty much want my money and everything. Oh man, here come the insurance man. Here come the insurance woman. Hey, that's been the
Exactly.
stigma.
Exactly. And it's not about that. This is the whole reason he and I, in terms of letting him know that this would be a good avenue, is that I want to make sure people are informed.
Hmm.
So it's not just about it being for death. There are, as I said before, there are other options. And of course, one size does not fit all. So in terms of to determine what someone else's needs are, that would have to be a conversation between the person and I. So that's not what this is about. It's about informing those that my main goal is to make sure you're informed. That's what it's about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, my producer had my mic muted. Basically, to let your viewers know is the fact is you don't need to be afraid of the insurance man or woman, whoever comes to you or so, because it's way beyond that we have been taught. So,
Right.
all right. And okay, wow. Man, your insurance is definitely big business or so, because we look at for us even car insurance, house insurance, home, auto, and things, and um,
Right.
a lot of us don't want to make that monthly payment. So, or we just feel, oh man, say like we will probably get a quote and say, is this much a month? Oh man, can I really afford that? But do you really think that is the case? Is it more than what we're looking into, making it bigger than what it is?
I'm going to say that's where conversations come in. And one of the things that we focus on in my team, there's a Waldorf team, and one of the things we focus on is building relationships. So it's not just a matter of you giving us information and then we go and say, well, this is it. And that's the end of the relationship between us, the rapport between us.
Right.
So that's why we have to look at each individual person. So
Good.
that's why
Okay.
I said like here, I can't, I can kind of give an overview of, insurance and what it is and what it isn't. But in terms of specifics for specific people, that would have to be in a conversation between us, because again, it's confidentiality. So that's why it can't be about, well, I'm going to sell this particular, option to you. It's not about that at all. It's about, we need to figure out what your needs are. And so that requires us to talk further and deeper into what your needs are, because as I call it, people say insurance, but I call it proactive protection. That's what I call it.
I like that.
Because
proactive protection.
You can have a voice. So when you're proactive, you're able to have a voice and to make some choices. So that's why I call it proactive protection.
Wow. Awesome. Proactive protection, y'all. Hey, we have to pretty much change our mindset on how we view things. Proactive protection. Okay.
Right.
Well, so would you say that would pretty much be the main basis of why you want to let folks know about insurance, or so, or the or how should I say it? It's what is the driving force for you to get this word out?
What the driving force is, in my family, that was, and I'm going to be transparent here, because I think a lot of times when people see insurance advisors, they figure, as we said before, the main focus is on making a sale. And, but to get deeper than that and not even consider that, one of the things my family, we had these conversations. They're not easy to have. And so throughout my life, we've had those conversations about insurance and protecting our families and those we love, which is most important. We want to protect them and have a voice while we can. So, and it really goes back to wanting to empower other people to find out more information. Find as much, ask many questions as you want. And that way it helps you make an informed decision about what will your next step be. So it goes deeper than that. As I come from a family of educators, and those are those conversations we've always had those conversations. Very open, and not saying everyone's experience is like that, but that's what I'm here for. So I can help you maneuver and navigate through that. Right. So you're not in it by yourself, and we just don't go and take a look at you and say, this is what you need. No, we sit, we take the time, and we will navigate through it and analyze what your needs are first. And then we'll go from there. But awesome. I'm big on information and people being informed and being empowered to make the decisions they need to do to protect themselves and their families.
Wow. Awesome. Every situation is tailor made, pretty
Mhm.
much when it comes to insurance. So yeah, there's
Right.
nothing that's a cookie cutter across the board.
No.
All right, man. And again, now, you might have answered this, so just want to clarify. Why do you think, for us as African Americans, why do you think that we are afraid to have these conversations? When it comes to insurance, and especially life insurance and things.
Right. Well, being that I'm a part of that community, our community
Mhm.
of, well, not that community, but our community.
Right.
I think that it's more so it could be not enough information. It could be that, in those conversations with their family members, it could be that there was certain information that was relayed to them and they
Mhm.
relied on that. It could be a negative experience with talking with someone who's an insurance advisor. It could be a number of things.
Mhm.
But one thing I do want to say is that it's important that we have a conversation. And if something you can't necessarily have with your family, then I would hope that you would trust us to talk about it and
Mhm.
ask those questions. And then if your family, if that's something you said, well, yes, I could have a better understanding. And would you talk to my family members? Sure, not a problem. But I don't want us to be one thing that we don't talk about. That we just say it'll go away, because it won't.
Yeah.
But it's not just about death. I mean, it's about living too. We're living longer, and there are some
Yeah.
options if people qualify for it that are
Uh,
there. But you won't know that unless you talk to an insurance advisor.
wow. You said something very profound. Yes, we are
Mhm,
living longer. Thanks.
mhm,
Glory, glory be to God. So I mean, and especially even with the influx of technology,
mhm,
and so man, just now you mentioned something about options. So I don't know if you wanted to go into depth about that, but I guess as we mentioned earlier, a lot of folks don't know that we could use insurance not just for our last wills and testament and things like that, but
mhm,
maybe even in a life situation crunch if we need money or or other
mhm.
purchases. Is that even possible?
It's possible, and like again, I say, that is an option if people qualify for that. So I don't want people
Right.
to think whatever we're saying is okay. Well, that means me too, because it may not. That's why I said it
Okay.
has to be. We have a conversation based on what your needs are,
Right.
because there are options out there, but that doesn't mean everybody qualifies for those options. And
Yeah,
again,
okay.
that's not a decision that the insurance agent makes. We don't make those decisions, but we're
Got
the ones that you work with to submit your application. And then the underwriters are those who make the decisions make an informed decision, and they make informed decisions based on the information that is
you. Hmm.
provided. And so that's why, again, it's good to be candid and honest when we're having those conversations, because we want them to make, when they look at everything, to make
Hmm.
the best informed decision about what your options are.
Right.
So just to give you tips that, don't shy away from it. If you have questions, ask the questions. It's okay to
Hmm.
ask questions. I do it all the time.
Right.
There's something, I mean, or just in my day to day as an educator, things are changing all the time. And
Yes.
so to stay up to date to what's going on in our field, you ask questions.
Right. Right.
So it should not be anything, it should not be different with insurance.
And the
Ask questions.
reason why I asked that early again, because on social media, so trends always happen, and so there has been
Mhm,
some commercials or quote unquote slight infomercials about insurance to where
mhm,
you can don't
mhm,
necessarily have to use it as that, but it doesn't tell you that, well, like you just said, you have to qualify. And so when folks feel
mhm,
or hear some information like, oh man, I could do this with it, or so, but then they come to find out they don't qualify, then they end up looking like, well, man, I got I've got taken for, so all right, and it just
right,
and it
right,
just, so it's just like with all the information that's going out, so it's important to get the right information so you don't go in there assuming, if that makes
right.
sense.
Right. Yeah. And that's not to take away from anything that they
Right.
see from any other company at all.
Right.
I'm just saying, ask
Right.
questions whomever you choose
Right.
to
Exactly.
that you're seeking to perhaps obtain insurance or proactive protection from a particular company. It's
Right.
okay to ask because you just want to make sure you're making the best informed decision.
There you,
So that's why I'm saying, you see commercials, I know you see all of that on TV, but again,
mhm.
that's why it's important to talk to an insurance agent.
Right.
That's why it's
Exactly.
important to do that. So we can clarify for you if there are questions, because you may have questions. You don't quite
Right.
understand. I don't quite understand how this works. And, this is my situation. And that's why I say it's more important to talk one-on-one with an insurance advisor
Right.
so that we can as you said, tailor make it to you.
Correct.
Because it's not one size fits all. This is not what this is. It's based
No.
on what your needs are and the
There
needs
you
of your
go.
family.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, again, asking questions. A lot of us, unfortunately, have been afraid to ask questions, and we just go off of what we've heard someone else say and
Mhm,
just get secondhand information that may not
mhm.
necessarily be true. So
Right,
that's why it's best to educate yourself out there.
right.
Wow. Oh, man.
Mhm.
And now, how long have you been in the industry of proactive protection?
You like that, right?
Yes, I like
You're
that.
like,
I
well,
like
that's a
that.
different way of looking at.
Yes,
I've never looked at it like that, but that's what it is.
it is.
Um, I've been with Trans America Agency Network for over a year.
Good. Okay.
And how I ended up as an agent is an insurance advisor is I actually have a friend of mine who I've known for some time, and I didn't tell him I was going to talk about him. I should have invited him on here. And we were having some conversations here, I guess, within the past couple of years. And to be honest and transparent, I know people go, okay, people try to talk to me about insurance. People, I'm saying, you may say, well, they're talking to me about it and I'm not listening. Okay. And at some point, that was me. So, what I'm saying to you is this: I had to make the decision that he's here to impart some knowledge to me. And
Mhm.
so I need to listen to what he's saying because he's doing it for my benefit so that I can make an informed decision. And that's all he was trying to do. So I stopped and I listened and I said, oh, okay. And then I started asking some other questions. So I'm an insurance advisor and I'm a client. I'm an insurance advisor.
Right.
So, um, and that was before I actually became affiliated with Transamerica Agency Network. That was before then. And so I've learned, and that's what kind of it was a catalyst,
Mhm.
coupled with wanting people to be informed, is that I found out information and I thought it would be of benefit to
Mhm.
be an insurance advisor to help others navigate this because it could be scary.
Yeah.
It could be things people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, but we have to have those conversations now because it's your voice. You have a voice now because you're proactively protecting your loved ones.
Yeah.
So you have that voice right now. So let's use that voice to gain further information
Right.
and determine what works for you. If it's just information you want, that's fine. There's no pressure
Mm.
whatsoever. My main point as a teacher, which is one who teaches,
Mhm.
is that you get the information so you can make the best decision and we can help you navigate. So it's not something you're doing by yourself. People think oftentimes, I've got to do this by myself. No, you don't. You don't have to. I'm saying you don't have to. If you choose to, that's fine. But why? You don't have to do that. I
It's
can
awesome.
assist you in navigating that.
And that's it. That's it. And again, those who are watching, if you would like to ask Miss Lynette any questions or so, feel free. All right. Because again, we're just here giving you information. And
Mhm.
yes, a lot of us have gone through it. Like I said, I just lost my mom recently back in January. And the frustrating part is that we were, talking with her and even others trying
Mhm.
to, have this talk. And it's like she wouldn't want to do it. And it's just
Right.
like, what can you do? And I think that's really unfair to your family members, because you're putting them in a predicament. It's like, okay, where can we find money to help, to take care of your, last wills and things like that. And so, thankfully we were able to get some things in place, but
Right.
it could have been a lot better than what it was, but
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. I get it. And that's a time, like I said, insurance is not all about or proactive protection. It's not all about
Mhm.
death, but it is
Right.
a part of it if that's what you choose as an option for you that you would like to focus on. So one of the things I think about with that is we have those we love and we care about. And now is the time where we can actually make those decisions for that, to
Mm-hmm.
show that love even beyond. So, and my thing is, for example, when my father, when he passed away, but we'd had those conversations before.
Mm.
And it was not great, but I could grieve without being so concerned with about how am I going to honor his wishes,
Right.
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 So that has a lot to do with it, that I wanted to honor what his wishes were as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told me where I could find everything, what I needed. And, people don't want to, I understand people don't want to talk about such a subject, but,
Right.
we have to take care of that now while we're able to, as I say, have a voice. And that's what this is about, making decisions, making decisions.
Right.
About finding more information about what is actually an option or options for you and your loved ones.
And even as being responsible. Okay. Again, that's the right thing to do. So, if you're watching out there, okay, do the right thing by your family, by your loved ones. Okay. And again, this is all about being proactive. And that's something that we all have to do in life and in other areas of our life, so that, again, we can have things in place, because one day it is going to come. And that's just, it is what it is. Wow, man. Miss Lenette, we sure appreciate you definitely coming on. What's the one thing that you want to let people know, about Transamerica, and just for us even having insurance, going through that process? What's the main thing that you want them to know about?
The main thing I want them to know about is take the first step. Find more information. Or even if you don't know what to ask. That's a start. I don't really know what to ask. I don't know. This is the situation. And we listen to you. We do. We hear you. We do. And then we go from there and say, okay, with all this information, let's determine what it is based on us doing analysis of your needs. That's first and foremost, because we just can't look at you and say, this is what you need. We don't do that. That's not what that's number one. The other thing is our focus is on relationships and building relationships with people that are clients, that it's not just we talk, you decide on an option, you qualify, and then that's it. That's not it. So anytime you have any questions, because you have that rapport relationship already established. So anytime you have any questions, that's what we're here for. So just remember that. I don't want people to be afraid. Don't be afraid. I get it. Even though I've talked with it in my family, doesn't mean that it is an easy topic, because it is not. But it's one we have to have. We have to have it, because we have, like I said, we have a voice, and we can be proactive. This is proactive protection. This is not, you're keeping your loved ones. You're keeping them in mind.
Keeping them in mind, right?
And that includes your children. That includes everyone whom you love.
Yeah, just being very responsible. Again, we have a few minutes. So if those who are watching, if you'd like to ask Ms. Lenette any questions concerning insurance, so and what is it just pretty much all life insurance that you deal with, or do you deal with other types of insurance?
And now that's a good question. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of licenses, we are required to have licenses.
Mm-hmm.
So my license is in life.
Like, okay. All right. Life insurance.
And there's some other options as well with that, but primarily, yeah, life, it's part of my insurance license. So we're required to be licensed in each state.
Right. So how many states are you licensed in?
I'm licensed in 5 currently.
Awesome.
And so that is growing. So
all right. What are those states?
Georgia, Texas, Virginia is let me back up. Virginia is my resident state. Virginia is first.
All right.
Okay. So then I have Texas, Maryland, North Carolina, and Georgia. And I'm going to continue to add others. So
wow. So you pretty much stick with those clients all over those between those 5 states and everything?
Pretty much. Okay. Because we are licensed. So if I'm licensed for a particular state, then my clients are in that's where they live, where they reside.
Right. So I just want to say this for those who are watching that may be in those states or so. Mm-hmm. Hey, she's going to stick with you regardless of where you're at because hey,
doesn't matter.
License in there.
Doesn't matter. I'll meet you. What you gonna say?
No, I'm about to say. So your goal is pretty much to be licensed in all 50 states, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Possible. Yes. If possible, yes.
Yeah. Hey. Well, hey. Hopefully. Hey, anything is possible now. Hey, so hey, because you're an entrepreneur. So hey, look, it's all about thinking big, going to that next level.
Exactly. So yeah, if at all possible. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey,
that's good.
Hey, the sky's the limit, and so hey, anything is. I love my song by Sounds of Blackness. Optimistic. That's one of my favorite joints there.
Right, definitely. So I don't want anyone to shy away. If you have a question, put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat. And again, if you're afraid to come on the chat, there's the information right there. I'll just say the phone number. You'll see the email address and the website as well. But 757-598-2132. All right. Feel free to reach out to her. All right. Because again, she's here to help you and just give you information. And no, she's not trying to sell you insurance.
I'm not.
Hey, just want to make that clear. So it's all about giving information.
Right.
And really, if people really realize, money is just a small resource, but if you have information, that's a lot more powerful than money.
It is.
Okay, so
yeah, and it's my response. I feel this is my responsibility to do this.
Awesome.
I feel this is my responsibility to impart knowledge.
Awesome, because somebody imparted into you, and so you just passing it on.
Yes.
Awesome.
Paying
it forward. That's it. Okay. Well, we want to thank Miss Lenette Hillian for coming on. Okay. Mm-hmm. And again, if you want to reach out to her, all right, if you you definitely need to, everybody needs insurance for sure, because we're seeing a lot of GoFundMe's, so things like that. And I don't know, for whatever reason they decided to do that, but if you have insurance, you can avoid all of that. All right. And again, insurance is very important. Let's have that proactive protection. Okay.
Exactly.
See, hey, it's all about changing your mindset and
all the mindset.
You've helped change minds. Yep, proactive protection. There, I'm gonna continue to use that because again, it's all about growing.
It's catchy.
It is catchy. Hey, you might need to coin that phrase.
You know what? That's a good idea, but it's okay. Proactive protection, because it gives you a voice. And that's the part. You want a voice.
You want a voice. Because you have a voice, so use it. Go ahead and use it. Awesome. Well, hey, look, that is going to do it for us on the segment of the 21st Entrepreneur. If you're interested in wanting to come on board and talk about what it is that you're doing, okay, feel free to reach out to me. All right. Again, musicindustrymakeover.com. That is the website. And as I said earlier, we're going to be switching out, and because life is all about changes, and and so I'm going to be making some myself. But in the meantime, you can contact me there, or just hit me up, DJ Ronnie Ron, at DJ Ronnie Ron, or at Ronnie Ron 2K on all the social medias. As you see my social media tag under my name, feel free to reach out to me, because again, we want to help bring to the world and expose a lot of these great entrepreneurs out here, and that's giving you information that could help you out. Okay, well, until next time, all right, you all stay blessed out there. Remember, you matter in the kingdom of God, so don't compare yourself or your ministry or whatever you do to anybody else. Just do what God's called you to do, and you'll be just fine. We'll see you again for another segment of the 21st Entrepreneur.
Okay, have a good one, okay? We'll see you soon, okay?
What is empowerment? What impact does it have on our community? Seeking to understand the mind of an entrepreneur? Let's find out.